In this video, we're going over how to train for the pistol squat. First, let's warm up. We're going to attach a light band at knee height, pulling the knee inwards. This is a form of reactive neuromuscular training. It's a faster way for your brain to figure out how to stabilize the joint. We're going to do 10 reps per side.
Okay, so the reason we're using a band pulling inwards is to get you to push the knee outwards. When you're going to be pistol squatting, what you're not going to want to do is when you come down low, you don't want your knee to cave inwards and then you're going to be bouncing on that. So what we want to do is give you a strong feeling of pushing your knee outward. This is basically just going to help you remember what to do when you're doing the pistol squat when the band is taken away.
So here we're paying particular attention to keep your knee in line with your heel and your weight in your heel as you're coming back up. You'll notice when you push through your heel on the way up, you'll engage your glute more. Also, as the band is pulling you in and you're pushing the knee outwards, your glute and hamstring should engage more as well. This drill can also be used as a rehabilitation drill rather than just prevention.
Good flex. You're going to want to have good hip flexors and good hip flexion. So we're going to do some straight leg strength, and you're also going to want to have some compression strength. So when you're at the very bottom of the pistol squat, you are actually activating your core a lot more than you think. Your back is rounded and that's okay, but you want to be able to have your hip flexors engaged and your core engaged in a compression hold essentially.
So here we're doing straight leg lift-offs with compression. First, push your hands into the ground. You can place your hands between the top to middle of thigh height. Try to keep a straight leg and an engaged quad as you bring the leg up and pull the ribs down and engage your core. You can do another variation where you push your hands between each leg interchangeably.
Another progression is to get comfortable in the bottom of the pistol squat.
Here, pay particular attention to squeeze your toes into the ground for grip. As you shift your weight to one side, try to make sure that the knee doesn't cave inwards too much. You're now going to use the same compression strength from before to lift the leg and engage the core. Try to hover for a few seconds on each side, and if you can, even lift up for a few centimeters above where you rest.
Okay, so if that last one was hard, you can try with a band for assistance instead. The reason straight leg strength is so important is because you want your leg to be nice and straight when you're going into the pistol squat. So it's quite easy to do a pistol squat and then your leg can't stay straight. You don't have enough hip flexion or hip flexor strength to keep your leg up, therefore the back leg trails. So it looks like this, where you go down and your leg's trailing and you can't get yourself back up. So the reason we do so much straight leg strength is to avoid that happening. So we do have a step-up video which I'm going to link in the description below, but it's very important that you're good at step-ups and not just pushing yourself up and avoiding strength from the whole range. You want to be able to lift yourself up from a quite low position slowly with full control, because that's going to then translate into the pistol squat. So if you struggle with this so much that you have to push off, that's okay to begin with. That's just the beginning stages, but then put a lot of focus each session to gain a little bit more control with the range. So one of the first progressions will be you helping yourself with a push off from the back leg and a push off from your arms as well, pushing outwards so that the knee ends up going out the way. Looks silly, but
what are you talking about? You look cool.
So we're working on eccentrics here. We're going to go as slow as possible on the way down, focusing also to keep this leg nice and high. You can use your hands as a counterbalance. And then we're going to push off. We're also going to work on rolling pistol squats so that you get used to the very bottom part and getting up from there. Okay, so once you've got a little bit better and it's been a few weeks and you've built up some strength, you can now start working on doing a full pistol squat.
So here I'm using a band, but you can also use a TRX or simply hold on to something as you're pushing back up. So here I'm using a light weight to counterbalance myself to help me get back up. With a weight-assisted pistol squat, you'll find that you need a bit more leg strength, but at the same time, it helps you get back up where you feel unbalanced.
Okay, so because we don't have a weight on our shoulders, it doesn't matter that our back is rounding during the pistol squat. If you're hypermobile and you don't have control in the bottom position, or if you wobble a lot, the bouncing at the bottom is going to be a problem. You could end up hurting yourself. If you are very controlled at the bottom position and you have a lot of leg strength, then this might not be a problem for you, but it is important just to see how you feel and react to how you feel rather than just doing it and forcing it.
Okay, so the last progression is the slow controlled pistol squat. If you really wanted to, obviously you could just bounce and go really quickly, but that's probably not going to do very much for controlling this movement. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to try to go as slowly as possible down and nice and slowly on the way up as well. Once you've mastered this nice and slow, you can then move on to things like tempo, so going nice and slowly down and a little bit faster on the way up.
Just another thing, so if you have poor ankle dorsiflexion, that's something you're going to have to work on independently from your pistol squat, and I wouldn't really recommend attempting a full pistol squat if you still have problems with your ankle dorsiflexion. You might need to have a bit of a heel raise or a little bit of help from Olympic lifting shoes, but in the meantime continue working on your ankle dorsiflexion as much as you can, because that ultimately will be what will get you to a good pistol squat.
If you want to find out more about the methods we use, please feel free to download our free ebook linked in the description below.